something that motivates us. It's all about contributing to our well-being, to our wellness in life. And my opinion is that if we live a life with purpose, we're already halfway there. Welcome. Hello, gorgeous, gorgeous people. I am glad that you have taken the time to join in today to Wednesdays with Wallis. We've been going for quite some time now, but it's a work in progress. I'm a work in progress, as I'm sure you are also. And the title of today's segment, Older and More Intuitive. And I want to talk about this because I think it's important. I think as we get older, this is one of these things. Lately I've been talking about, getting older, more wiser. I'm old, what now? Around all this stuff, as I'll call it, all these questions, all these things that we're asking ourselves, is this thing about, I want to really talk about the fact that I think that as we get older, because we move into a different consciousness, for most of us, we move into a different space and time. We've done the hard yards. We've asked a lot of questions. We've been through a lot of things, and that doesn't mean we don't keep going through them, because, we're mere damn mortals, aren't we? I mean, we're just human, we're humans. We're, spiritual beings, my belief. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So this human experience that we're having has its limitations because we don't remember where we came from. I won't talk too much about that because I've got something rather exciting to tell you that's coming up for me very soon, which I've wanted to do for a long, long time. And I'll be telling you about that today on Wednesdays with Wallis. But I want to just talk about this whole area of, more intuitive. You hear people say, oh, you can't put an old head on young shoulders. Well, you can't. I get it. You just simply can't. You can't. There's my little dog there. You can't have the experiences, the accumulated knowledge, the accumulated experiences, the accumulated understanding. Of course, when you're 20 or 30 years old or even 40 years old. I mean, really, quite frankly, in the scheme of things, 40 years walking on this planet's nothing, is it? 40 years goes by in the blink of an eye. Some of us, got kids older than that. And we go, whoa, where'd the time go? So, 40 years is nothing. But we accumulate this knowledge. We accumulate with our questioning, with our journey, with, the times when we, hit the bottom and, then we come out of the ditch and we come up and look around again and move on. And, and it's not, I hear people say at times, oh, I think I've lost my way. I've lost my path, or I've lost my, purpose, or I don't think you have. I don't believe that. I used to believe that there was such a thing as that, but I don't anymore. I don't believe that anymore. I believe now that it is all accumulative. It's all just simply part of the journey. The pain we felt then is part of the happiness now. The happiness now is part of some, pain or gain or something else that, will take place in future times. I believe it's all, it's rolled into one. It's all part of the one big lump of things, so to speak, because it's part of the journey. It's part of where we're going, what we're doing, and what we're here for. And we don't remember that. Very few of us remember any connectedness or connection to, or any past life or anything that may have gone on, where we may have lived, what we may have done, because my belief is, that our soul lives on, and as such, then our soul returns in a human experience, in a human body, to take up where it left off, so to speak, a bit like, this is the soul. We pass, but our soul exists, and our soul's still, still learning, still journeying, still there's aspects of the soul that still need to experience and do certain things. So then that soul lives on in, another human existence. That's my belief. Of course, other people believe, different things, and that's fine. I'm all good with whatever the belief is, whether the belief is in karma or I'm all open and allowing for whatever, floats our boat, so to speak, whatever sees us through, whatever gives us hope, and whatever, lifts us up and gives us the strength that we need in the times that when we need the strength. Because sometimes, you hear people say, I don't know where I got the strength for that, or I don't know how I got through that. Well, we get through things because we do have it. It's there in ourselves. And we don't want to be experiencing that all the time. We want to have that experience when we need it. We don't want to be, it's a bit like we don't want to be able to live and be proving all the time that we can, lift a 100-pound weight. But if we needed to, we could. A bit like that, if that makes sense. So back to this whole area of intuitive. I think as we get older, we get wiser, purely because of our experiences and things that we do and the way in which we do things. We learn and we grow from those experiences. And along with that, we also, I believe, we've also learned, how to rely on something other than ourselves, something within ourselves, something that, tends to warn us or tends to be right. I mean, how many times have we all said, oh, I just had this feeling. That's your intuitiveness. And if we go with that, if we learn to rely on it, if we work with it, a bit like a muscle, really, the more we use it, it strengthens. So if we use intuitiveness in our guidance as our guidance system, then, and I've had that, many, many years ago. I'll tell you a little story. Many, many years ago when I was younger, I've always been, very, very intuitive, and I guess some people would say very psychic. I've had lots of really interesting experiences. But when I was younger, I didn't think about that. I thought that was a bit weird. And I used to, sort of push things aside. Oh, don't talk about that. People will think you've lost your marbles. And they would say things like that in those days. So all the people that have gone before me and the people that will come after, not so much after me, but before me, all of those very, very brave people who were brave enough to share and their experiences and say so, I take my hat off to, because it's very difficult to be out about anything that isn't acceptable mainstream, where, you can get yourself sort of, hammered over the head or, shot at, so to speak, metaphorically speaking. So I was driving one day in the car. I was younger. I had, young kids, young family. I think I'd taken them to school or something. Anyway, I was driving. And I was driving down a road and I was going to do a right-hand turn. And I always drive by my mirrors. I always look in the rear vision mirror and I always look at the other mirrors. I just check everything around me. It's just part of who I am. But anyway, I was driving along and the thought just happened, I'd put my blinker on because I was going to do a right-hand turn into the street. Before I did anything, there was this whole energy thing around me that said, stop. And it was so strong and it was so there that I stopped. And just as I did this, a guy was speeding along and he came around the outside of me and cut in the front of me. Had I done that right-hand turn, Well, who knows? I mean, it would have been a horrible accident to say the least, and which one I might not have survived from. But it was just something that happened intuitively. It was something that just came to me. And over the years, I've built on that. I've built on my intuitiveness. I work very, very much on, what I call my gut feeling or my intuitiveness. And that comes to me in a couple of different ways. When I sort of get a no or a yes, I have a couple of totally different experiences that occur. And, that's been very helpful. It's been wonderful, really, to be able to rely on that. Sometimes I forget, but it's been a wonderful thing, to rely on it. So that to me is, quite exciting. So I believe that we all have it, and you certainly have it as you get older. And I think that being intuitive and using your intuitiveness for the things that you want to do, rather than getting confused or worried about things or whatever, just stop and just allow this intuitiveness, your own innate knowingness, allow that to surface and, give you, a bit of guiding light, give you a bit of guidance there on, if you're not sure, if you're in a space right now where you're going, oh, I don't know, should I do that or not do it or whatever, step back away from it and give yourself a bit of space and sit and just allow. And perhaps, if anything, just feel what either one of those might mean. Feel into it and see where your feelings lie. If they're making you a bit icky in the tummy or whatever, well, then that's definitely a no. No, don't do it. Okay, the other thing I want to cover off on two things today, which I think are very important before I get off the air. And that is that in another week or so, I would think, I'll be launching finally, after being called to do this for such a long time and getting into my head about it all. So I know this stuff I'm talking to you about because I've experienced it personally. Instead of getting into all that, finally launching Soul Wisdom Guidance, and I'll have a whole new site for it. I'll have some fantastic things on there that you'll be able to participate in. One of them is I'm going to be running some webinars and workshops on channeling, so that you can be your own channeling vessel. You can learn how to channel. And I'm going to be doing some, readings and things like that for people. There's going to be, a few fantastic, fabulous things on there. And, that's my spiritual work, so to speak, that has come to the fore, finally allowing that to create and manifest itself. And it's a wonderful feeling, a little bit of trepidation around it because I've been stuffing it for so long. So I'll be talking about that next Wednesdays with Wallis. I might even have the link for you to, take a look at it. In the meantime, in between time, I want you to click on the link below so that you can like us, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. The other thing that and hopefully you have watched this long enough to get this, but one of the things that's happening is along in Bold Not Old with our program that we've been promoting and launching, our bigger program in there. So there's some freebie and there's a smaller program that you can take and do. But the bigger program in there, when you purchase one of those bigger programs, we're going to be, I hope you can see this, we're going to be giving away a complimentary vacation or complimentary holiday package accommodation valued up to $1,000. And so you can take a holiday anywhere in the world, accommodation, and just have to get yourself there, whether you fly or swim or whichever way you do it. You get yourself there, and you can have up to it's about $1,000, and you can have this amazing holiday for 2 adults and 2 children up to 12 years of age. Fabulous. And the link will be below for you to click on that. Click on the link and go through, take a look at our program. And if it fits and you like it and you'd love to do it, don't worry about how we'll know whether you do it or not. We will, and we'll also know your contact details. So we will immediately be giving you that free complimentary trip. Fabulous. So until next time, this is Wallis Patterson, founder of Bold Not Old, and more importantly, I'm the host of Wednesdays with Wallis. Thank you for joining. Look at all my lovely things around me. See you next week. Take care, enjoy, and be fabulous.